Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. Nice try, could you try? Hi, my name is Shiva. Today I'm going to cover new topic, that is event grid subscription and event grid topic. So basically, if you see my screen, uh, this is Azure Resource Group. So today we are going to cover second day of Azure. So in this session I am going to cover a event grid subscription and event grid topic. So here, this is event grid system topic. So this topic is nothing but uh, basically what I want to cover is we have one feature in the Azure which will supports event subscription and event uh, topic event handlers. So basically, in a simple language I can say, whenever you try to upload any file in the storage blob container, like for example this is a storage account, and if you see, this is a storage blob container, and here it is blob container. So whenever I see something file is getting uploaded to any blob container, that itself creates an event in. So this event create, so this is creating an event. This is one example. Another example, whenever you uh, whenever any new message arrives in the service bus topic. So for example, we have service bus topic or service bus queue. There, when any message arrives there, it itself it creating an event. To read that events, we have feature called event grid. So if here we have this itself, it says this is an event grid, to which is listening these events basically. So for example, I said earlier, we are uploading some file to blob container, some process is uploading, like for example in the real time, some API call is getting called and it is uploading a file to the blob container. So at that time, event is getting created, and there is a service which is called event grid, which is listening to that service, and then which is notifying, which is itself it is notifying that event got created. And the second picture is event handler. So event handler are nothing but Azure functions. So Azure functions will get that event and process that event, and ultimately process the data, uh, and apply some business logic over it. So here, event grid will receive all those events, and event uh, handler is nothing but Azure functions. So for example, if I see this purchase order, this is an event topic. So event topic is nothing but it 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 is a it gets notified. That means event got created by uploading a file to blob container. So this event topic will be notified via event grid, because earlier we have event grid. This is this thing which I am highlighting is nothing but event grid. This is highlighting this, this is receiving the event, create event, and then event topic is getting notified, and associated event handler, that is nothing but Azure function. So I which I have developed using .NET Core. So this, I have developed this Azure function, which is uh, so this event topic is getting notified, and corresponding event handler. So once the message event created, it gets, this topic will gets notified, and corresponding handler, event handler is nothing but Azure function, will gets invoked. So this is Azure function. Azure function is basically serverless code which we will do, which are very useful in real time to process the data, um, apply some business logic, or do the blob moving from one source location to destination after business logic. So Azure functions are basically service, serverless code. We can, they are integrate one of the integration services, platform as services, where we will pay based on the usage, um, and this infrastructure completely maintained by Azure cloud. So here, this is event grid followed by event. This is a, so earlier I said this resource group has this event grid which will receive the event. So basically whenever a file gets uploaded to a blob container, a create event is forming. That event will be received by this event grid. Event grid will send this to event topic, because this topic is configured in a such a way to get the notification of all the events. So see, one of the events these are all the event topics. So this event topic blob created events, these are, if you can see, all these are blob created events. So this one of the topic will receive, gets notified, and on a graph base everly, or we can even check that any errors, any latency is there, and we can apply the filters over here, which path to get the notification, like under this path, the blob created event, this path. So this path, if any file gets uploaded, this topic will get notification, and then it will get pass this to event handler. Event handler is nothing but Azure function which we develop using .NET Core. So what this Azure function will do is, this Azure function will gets invoked, and then it will display all the logs. The underlying business logic it will show up. So business logic in nothing but we will apply some transformations, or any kind of business logic we will apply in the real time, and that final file we can move to one location to another location, or we can send it over to another downstream system after applying transformations. So this is about event grid and event subscription, event topic, event handlers in uh, Azure portal. So hope you liked it. In the coming sessions, I will cover more real-time examples in a real time. I will try to cover live coding and uh, uh, live implementation for your better understanding. So here we can we can go more about Azure functions. Also Azure functions, we can even check this invocations. It will display all the logs, and we can even go to this Azure function. um, Let me go to this is Azure function. This is one of the endpoint, and we can check the invocations, we can check the function keys, we can check the logs, and we can to bear to be this is one of the function apps you see here, Azure function app. So this function app, uh, we should once we deploy our .NET Azure function code to Azure, we should make sure of these all the environmental variables are present, because environmental variables are very very important to run this function app. So because we will configure all the important variables here, so that function app will run smoothly and apply the business logic. These are very very important when we should check in the DevOps pipelines that environmental variables are getting deployed to Azure properly. To debug the Azure functions, we have the wonderful feature that is application insights. Let's go to this application insights to check the logs of Azure functions. Logs are very useful to check the trace the performance of our app, how it is behaving, how it is working. We can easily track whether any error happening or not. We can simply go to the investigate tab. In this investigate tab, we have transaction search, which will give us the SQL mode. This SQL mode, we can go and check how this event Azure function is working. Any errors are there, any success things are there. We can all those things we can easily verify over here. Um, these things, it is showing up everything. It's showing up any error. It is gets shows severity level. There was an error. If it is errors, we can check. If there is no success things, we can easily track over here, right? Let me check the view in logs. Let me check the logs. So this is the way to check logs using the K query. So it will list out all the logs information or warnings or any errors. We can easily track this Azure functions functionality over here. We do have KQL mode that it will give you better flexibility to check the exact error at particular timestamp. We can even go through this, run this query, and we can see what error we are getting, how it exactly what's making break of our application. So this way we can check this Azure functions. We have a lot. We can I can in the coming videos I will give you more details about this Azure functions, like durable functions we have, timer functions we have, and Azure logic apps we have, like service bus topics and all those things real time. These will solve the real time problems, like it will everything is automated here. So it can these Azure features can help serverless, and they can take the data from the mobile or web app, and at a faster level they can process and apply the business logic. They have inbuilt services, low code platform also it supports, and a lot of connectors they are having. We can connect to Azure Salesforce, we can connect to D365 finance systems. All those systems we can easily connect, and then process that data and send it to the downstream systems. And we can have the better control by check go to the application insights, and monitoring of the application is very easy, and scaling up of application also very very fast. We can upscale or downscale the app. So this is it as per my knowledge. That's it from today. In the coming sessions I will come up with better real time examples more, and I will try to do more live coding so that we will all can learn more better way. And I believe I can also learn a lot from you all guys and by this platform. Thank you so much. Goodbye. We'll meet you again in the next session.